हेलो बेटा, वेरी वेरी गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। कैसे हैं आप सब लोग? फीना फ्रेशा लिंडा एकता ईटा रेड्डी। ओके, गुड इवनिंग बेटा। वेलकम टू द क्लास। दिस इज योर फर्स्ट क्लास। ओके, यू कैन कवर द left over class from the recorded lecture. No issue at all beta. I welcome you all. Regarding the today lecture, initial 5 to 10 minutes will be the revision time, and then we will start a altogether new topic. Definitely you will comfortable in learning from that concept. Okay, ready ji? चलिए बेटा, हाउ मेनी स्टूडेंट्स आर ऑनलाइन? कानी मोजी, गुड इवनिंग बेटा। श्रीवानी, अ प्लेजेंट इवनिंग टू यू ऑल्सो बेटा। जल्दी से कौन कौन ऑनलाइन है बेटा, जल्दी से गुड इवनिंग करे, एंड देन वी विल स्टार्ट टुडेस लेक्चर विद द रिवीजन ऑफ द लास्ट सेशन। और कौन कौन स्टूडेंट ऑनलाइन है, जल्दी बेटा जल्दी। Okay, so in the last session, beta, we have almost completed customer profitability statement. And some good question we have done in the last session. I think it's on 22nd of December. Okay, so let's revise those first, and then we will move further towards the new concept of the session. This is the last session of this particular chapter, chapter number 9. We will wind up this session today with the topic known as direct product profitability. In the last session, I have given you a hint that companies such as Walmart or Best Price or Big Bazaar or Reliance Fresh, it is not possible for them to trace overhead to each and every product they are being able to sell. So a new method is needed for such retail sector business, and definitely that method is direct product profitability. Okay, and the last topic of this particular chapter is the computation of ratios. That is very very important. Value added ratio and the non value added ratio. Actually that chapter belongs to chapter number 3, lean system and innovation. In that particular chapter, at the starting of that particular chapter, we have learned the concept waste. Only the concept has been learned, but the practical utility of that particular topic, value added and non value added, along with the ratio, will be studied in this particular chapter, chapter number 9. ओके, चलिए बेटा स्टार्ट करें फिर आज का सेशन। देखिए, सबसे पहले लेट्स हैव अ रिवीजन। इन द लास्ट सेशन वी हैव कवर्ड क्वेश्चन नंबर 2। ओपन करिए बेटा आप क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, पेज नंबर 36। क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, पेज नंबर 36 ओपन कीजिए आप। Okay, in this particular question, in the first requirement part, they have asked us whether whatever income from the operation they have calculated, whether they are justifiable, whether on the basis of that, whether we can measure the performance of the organization or not. Okay, so we have straightforward say that no, the division performance doesn't accurately measure the performance. The logic is very simple, because the service departmental charges are charged to both the department arbitrarily. Okay, based on revenue, whether they are taking the services of a particular service department or not, irrespective of that, based on the revenue ratio, they have allocated overhead to the both the product. So that will be an illogical one. And in the second part, we have to prepare the divisional income statement using the activity basis. And I already told you, beta, whenever there is a activity-based costing question, there should be minimum 2 working notes. The first working note will be related to ABC recovery rate, in which we will find out the recovery rate for each and every activity. The recovery rate for each and every activity. In simple term, we are finding out the billing rate. It's not the billing, it's called as billing rate. And in the second statement, based on the services consumed by the product, we will charge the total amount of that. That is known as total overhead product wise. So in the second statement, we are having 3 activities, and for computation of ABC recovery rate, there are minimum 5 and maximum 5 column. And the first column is known as activity, second column activity cost pool, third column activity cost driver, fourth column activity quantity of activity cost driver, and the last will be the ABC recovery rate. Clear है बेटा? एक simple सा question था, nothing special about this question. Question number 2. Question number third is a super question. Can you please identify the most important part where majority of the student make wrong calculation when they are attempting this question for the very first time? Can you please identify that tricky area, beta? Based on the screen, whatever is visible on the screen, that point is there, which is very tricky. Generally, 80 to 90% of the students commit mistake while solving this question for the very first time. Can you please identify that point to me so that we can revise that point again? Please communicate to me, beta, your answer. No, beta, Rashmi, it's not variable cost. Yes, Shivani, that's the correct point. Other product column, it's a very smart paper setter. Really congratulate this question designer. He's very smart. Why? Because generally the pattern of the question drafting is you are providing of the first product, you are providing of the second product. Normally, student assume that the last one will be the total of the first product and the second product. And especially if this question is solved in the last 1 hour, the trick played by the question setter definitely work well, because in the last 1 hour, actually student is having less time. So they want to read, do not want to read it completely. They are assuming themselves that this is the first column, second column. So normally the last will be the total column. But the question setter played very smartly. They have given the other product. So for making a total, we have to make the total of the second column, third column, and the fourth column. Then only we are be able to determine what is the total material cost, labor cost. Okay, beta? बहुत अच्छा point था, literally बहुत अच्छा point था. And in this question also, we have seen if such variable cost 622.5 and 103.75 not given in the question. It might be possible, because in the examination, if the same question appears and if the paper setter wants to do something new, it will simply don't provide this particular line. In that situation also, we have already discussed how to compute the variable cost of the first product and the second product in case they are not given to you. Okay, chaliye. Then this is very, very important. Now the organization wants to shift to activity based costing, है ना? अब वो activity based costing में shift होना चाहते हैं. Now they want to apply activity based costing. So they have identified two activities. The first activity is direct material related overhead, and the second activity is known as direct labor related overhead. Whenever you are computing the ABC recovery rate, what columns you require, beta? You require activity, you require activity cost pool, you require activity cost driver, you require quantity of activity cost driver, and ABC recovery rate. This first column is very easy. It is given to you that there are two activities, direct material related overhead and direct labor related overhead. Regarding the cost pool, that is again simple, because in point number 2, we have been mentioned that the total variable overhead is 120 lakhs. Out of that, 30% belongs to the material related overhead and the 70% belongs to the labor related overhead. So regarding the cost pool, we can easily compute the same. There is no issue. Regarding the cost driver, that is also simple, because the cost driver, what cost driver to be taken for each and every activity is already given in the question. You can see the volume of raw material held to facilitate production of each product is the cost driver. So it is given. The most important part is to determine the quantity of activity cost driver. That's the most important part of this particular question, because the quantity they have given is not the total quantity, is the per product unit quantity. What does it mean phi? Can you please interpret the phi, beta? What's the interpretation of this numerical number phi? Please communicate to me. I am waiting for you. चलिए बेटा जल्दी से मुझे बताया सबसे वो उस जो न्यूमेरिकल नंबर 5 है, व्हाट्स द इंटरप्रिटेशन ऑफ दैट न्यूमेरिकल नंबर 5? प्लीज कम्युनिकेट टू मी फर्स्ट. What will be the interpretation of that numerical number 5, beta? Waiting for your answers. Okay, very good, Shivani. The correct answer, beta, as usual. So Shivani has said it's 5 units of material quantity that is required for every finished goods. Yes, that's the correct interpretation. 5, 8, and 5. This is 5, 8, and 5. How do we interpret this? These are the quantity of material required for every finished unit. So this 5, 8, and 5 will be multiplied by the quantity, finished goods quantity, to get the quantity of the cost driver. That is the most important part. Similarly, regarding the direct labor, they have given labor operation per product unit. This 7, 6, and 5 denotes labor hours required per unit. Labor hour required per unit. So the 7, 6, and 5 will be multiplied by the quantity of finished goods. That is 10,000, 20,000, and 80,000 to get the quantity of cost driver. So the only important thing while calculating the ABC recovery rate is the quantity of cost driver. So beta, I have already told you multiple times. Be prepared the notes or the highlighted point at this particular point of time itself, that in the first revision, in the second revision, and in the last day before revision, what you are going to revise. Because practically the syllabus is the sea, है ना, समंदर के रूप में आपके पास. You have to curtail it into a lake. उससे भी कम आपको करना पड़ेगा, so that you can easily revise each and every concept before examination. And trust me, beta, final is all about revision. है ना? If you are revising 2 or 3 times a particular subject, there is not even a single % chance that you will not succeed. है ना? पूरे 100% चांस है आप सक्सीड होंगे. सिर्फ नंबर कम ज्यादा हो सकते हैं based on the paper level, but one thing is sure, all the student who has been successful at the final level, as per my past experience of almost 17 years, I can surely say that yes, revision is the ultimate key. The number of times a student revise a particular chapter or a particular subject, the more confidence he or she gets in that particular subject. So it's very important, beta, that at the time of learning from a particular chapter, we should highlight those special points or mark those points that should be revised at the first revision, second revision, and even last day before examination, है ना? तो ये तैयारी आप अभी से कीजिए. आप देखिएगा कितना इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है, कितना आप टाइम सेव कर पाते हैं एट द टाइम ऑफ रिविजन. ओके, चलिए बड़े बेटा. चलिए अब नाउ मुझे बताइए, आपको रिक्वायरमेंट पार्ट नंबर 1 में हाउ यू हैव आइडेंटिफाइड दैट रिक्वायरमेंट पार्ट नंबर 1 is to be solved not only through traditional method but also through ABC method, है ना? Generally there can be misinterpretation of the first requirement part. Either student are solving it through traditional method or ABC method, but requirement part number 1 is required to be solved from both the method. Can you please provide me those keywords in this requirement part number 1 which interpret that yes, both the method will be applicable? Okay. F unit information. Yes, beta. The most important part is unit cost information available. Unit cost information is available for both the product. Therefore, this point is to be done from traditional method as well as ABC method. And now they have used the word decision strategy. Can you please identify on which basis we are supposed to take decision for this particular company, beta? I'm waiting for your answer. On what basis we are supposed to give decision for this particular strategy? Okay, no doubt, no issue with Shrivani. That's why I'm taking revision of the last session, because number of question solved are although less in the last session, but they are very, very important from interpretation viewpoint. Yes, beta. Rashmi, Shrivani, correct hai bilkul. Contribution to sales ratio. If I'm not wrong, that is point number 5. Even in the question, yes, this is point number 5. In point number 5, they have clearly said that company will not accept any work which is yielding a contribution of less than 28%. So this is the different strategy. We will compute the PVR for each and every product by both the method, and we'll check whether that product is providing the contribution of 28% minimum or not. Okay. But chill. Fourth, I think we have completed that one in the earlier session. Can you please interpret this language, beta? What is 3 public 10 net 30 without looking at the question, beta ना? सिर्फ आपको इसके आधार पे दीजिए. All the question has provided you the interpretation, but sometime they will not provide you the interpretation. What do you mean by 3/10 net 30? Please provide me the answer. Please provide me the answer now. What's your answer? Okay, very good, Shivani, Fish, Rashmi, that's the impression. 3% discount, cash discount or quantity discount? This is cash discount. 3% cash discount will be provided to those customers who are making the payment within 10 days of invoice. Otherwise, the normal credit period without any cash discount is 30 days. Very good, beta. Jaya Chandran, Ankit Garg. Yes, beta, that's the interpretation. Very good. चलिए और कुछ किया अपने लास्ट लेक्चर में. We have also done question number 8. That's a super question. Can you please tell me, beta, why in this question there will not be any calculation of activity based costing? Because whenever we are able, we have to do the activity based costing, we require the basic working mode that is known as ABC recovery rate. Why in this particular question we are not solving any calculation regarding the activity based costing? Can you please provide me the logic in a single line? Please provide me the logic beta of that point. Okay, unit wise rate. No, beta. FEMA forage, that's not the point. FEMA forage, can you please provide me what detail is missing, beta? Shivani, off driver is not given. Okay, beta. Any other bad answer? Basically, neither the cost driver is given nor the quantity of cost driver is given. Although, as a final student, we are supposed to imagine the logical cost driver for inspection and testing, but the real problem arises while solving the question of this particular question number 8 is where to get the quantity of cost driver. We cannot assume the quantity of cost driver. Therefore, this is a super question which contain all the detail, but no calculation required. Just they are testing your ability to express your knowledge. Just they are testing how properly you interpret the detail of this question. Okay, beta. Chaliye. So this is all about the last session. Now we are starting a new topic, second last topic of this particular chapter. Please give the heading your copy, direct product profitability. Direct product profitability. There's also one topic in this particular chapter. I will show you that one, beta. Strategic profitability analysis. This is a question of reconciliation statement under standard costing. So when we are about to start the concept standard costing, I think most probably the batch is on 3rd of January from the new year. We will start the last chapter of our batch. It is the standard costing. Whenever we are going through that particular chapter, definitely I will cover this particular topic, strategic profitability analysis, because it's a basically a computation of variance under reconciliation method, है ना? So ये जो topic है बहुत important topic है, बहुत easy topic है, but this topic cannot be discussed right now because although you know the concept of standard costing, but when it will be revised at the time of standard costing chapter, definitely you will be able to get more knowledge on this particular topic. Okay, so I'm holding this topic for the last chapter, that is the standard costing chapter number 11. तो अभी अपन स्टार्ट करते हैं बेटा. Let's start the topic, direct product profitability. Okay, beta. So what we can do, I'm giving you some time to read out the content from the study material regarding the direct product profitability and try to interpret on your own what is the basic crux of direct product profitability. Once you've gone through a newspaper reading of paper number page number 7 and page number 8, definitely you will be able to appreciate what do you mean by direct product profitability. So I require the reading of page number 7 and page number 8 at your end, and then we will start what do you mean by direct product profitability and the practical portion of direct product profitability. We are having a super question related to direct product profitability that will almost take 40 to 45 minutes minimum, to solve that particular question of direct product profitability. Okay, so I'm giving you some time of say 4 to 6 minutes to read out the content given in page number 7 and page number 8 regarding direct product profitability. Okay, beta. So have a newspaper reading and try to acquire the knowledge. Basically 10 to 20% I'm expecting that you will be able to interpret what do you mean by direct product profitability. Okay, चलिए टाइम देता हूं बेटा मैं आपको, एक बार रीड आउट कीजिए. Last 1 or 2 minutes are available with you, beta. Try to read out the complete information available in page number 7, page number 8. And in case you completed the reading, beta, please communicate to me so that we can start the discussion part. Okay, done. Chali beta. So let's start. So what is direct product profitability? The very first point. This concept is basically applicable for the retail sector. Example, I have already given to you Best Price, Big Bazaar, Reliance Fresh, or D-Mart are the best examples for this particular type of concept, direct product profitability. Please give the heading in your copy, beta. Direct product profitability. Please give the heading in your copy, direct product profitability. Please write down the very first point, applicability. Applicability. Direct product profitability. Direct product profitability. Write down in abbreviation DPP. Direct product profitability. In bracket DPP, bracket close, is applicable for, write down in inverted comma, retail sector. Is applicable for a retail sector. Full stop. Retail sectors such as Reliance Fresh, comma D-Mart, X. Second point हमें लिखना है बेटा, why we cannot apply activity based costing in trading sector. Why there is a need for a new method altogether for logical recovery of overhead in the trading sector. Now the natural question arises, already हमारे पास CPP है, already we have the activity based costing in place, then why there is a need to derive altogether new method that is exclusively applicable for trading sector? So the very first reason is retail sectors such as D-Mart are dealing in thousands of products. Just imagine the D-Mart store, beta. They are dealing with thousands of products. It's not practically possible for them to trace the overhead relate it to each and every product. It's not cost effective for them. The first point. The second point, although they are dealing thousands of products and the price ranges from few rupee to thousands of rupees. If you go to D-Mart, there are products which cost rupee 5 also. There are products which cost rupee 500 also. There are products which cost rupee 5,000 also. So they are dealing with those products also where the price range is significantly different, starting from few rupee to thousands of rupee. So it's not practically possible for any organization who is in retail sector to apply the direct ABC concept, because ABC concept states that you have to determine the ABC recovery rate, and that recovery rate is to be charged to each and every product based on the services consumed by them. So how they can apply that particular concept, it's not practically possible. Even if it is done, it will not be the cost effective method. So likhiye beta, why DPP? You know, a question mark symbol. Why DPP? इसमें लिखिए बेटा, the following are the two reasons. The following are the two reasons due to which a separate method is needed. Due to which a separate method is needed for trading sector. Write down next line. Reason number one. Reason number one. Number of products that are dealt with. Number of products that are dealt with are thousands in number. Write down second point. Reason number two. Reason number two. The price differs significantly. The price differs significantly, ranging from few rupees to thousands of rupees. Ranging from few rupee to thousands of rupees. Now, third point, how to compute DPP? How to compute DPP? The total, there are 3 steps whenever we have to compute the direct product profitability. Total, there are 3 steps whenever we have to compute the direct product profitability. Have you read out those steps? Can you please communicate to me what are those 3 steps based on which we will find out the direct product profitability? Can you please tell me those 3 steps? Beta, already you have read out that point. Can you please communicate what are those 3 steps available? What are those 3 steps through which we can compute the direct product profitability? The step number 1 is to find out the gross margin. Gross margin. Okay. The second point that required to compute the DPP is direct product cost, known as abbreviated name is DPC. Okay. And the last step in which we'll compute the DPP, that is the direct product profitability, is step number 1, that is the gross margin, minus step number 2, that is the gross direct product cost. So we will get the direct product profitability. Okay, beta? Please write down the concept. Computation part. Give the heading. Computation part. Please give the heading beta complete part. The following are the three steps. The following are the three steps to compute direct product profitability. The following are the three steps to compute direct product profitability. Step number 1, it's gross margin is equal to sale price minus purchase cost. Step number 1, gross margin is equal to sale price minus purchase cost. Step number 2, it's known as DPC, direct product cost. So the first one is warehouse cost plus transport cost plus store cost. Okay, beta. This is known as DPC. If you want to write the full name, you can write it's direct product cost. Such costs which can be directly related to a particular product are known as direct product cost. Okay. And now the last step, step number 3, is DPP, direct product profitability, is equal to gross margin minus DPC, direct product cost. Direct product profitability is equal to gross margin minus direct product cost. Now please communicate to me, beta. There are in point number 2, there are two costs that is almost similar. Can you please identify those two costs in step number 2, which appears to be almost similar? Okay, warehouse and store. Okay, beta. Although it appears to be same, but they are not same. The word store cost is there, not the storage cost. So let's understand that point number 2, because unless and until we understood the same, we always carry the misconception that the warehouse cost and the storage cost are one and the same. Why the author has put up those costs separately, but intentionally they are different. They are not the storage cost, they are known as store cost. Okay, तो देखिए बेटा क्या कंसेप्ट है इसका. Please draw this diagram, beta. It's very important at later stage to understand the meaning of this second step. Okay, how DMart is able to provide you the goods at the most cheapest price? The obvious reason is for all the 200 plus stores, they buy directly from the manufacturer. There is no middleman involved. There is no regional distributor. There is no C&F. There is no nothing. The company, DMart, directly purchase from the company itself. So there will be centralized purchasing. So ये जो है ये centralized आपका warehouse है. Okay. So centralized warehouse, suppose they have परचेज फ्रॉम द कंपनी पार्ले, है ना। पार्ले से जो भी वो गुड्स परचेज कर रहे हैं, दे आर परचेजिंग द सेंट्रलाइज वेयरहाउस। सपोज इट्स इन मुंबई, सेंट्रलाइज वेयरहाउस इनका मुंबई में है। ओके, सो all the store, 200 plus store, whenever they require the product for a particular brand, say Parle, they will request the centralized warehouse to dispatch the goods. तो ये सभी गुड्स फिर यहां से ट्रांसपोर्ट होते हैं। ओके, एंड नाउ दिस इज स्टोर नंबर 1, this is store number 1, this is store number 2, this is store number 3 एंड दिस इज स्टोर नंबर 4। ठीक है, अब मान के चलिए ये इंदौर में है, इट इज इन दिल्ली, इट इज इन जम्मू एंड दिस इज इन चेन्नई। आई एम टेकिंग ओनली 4 स्टोर while the DMart is having minimum 200 plus store in different cities. Okay, so इन सबकी जो कॉस्ट है ना, this cost are known as store cost. स्टोर कॉस्ट का मतलब स्टोरेज कॉस्ट नहीं है, the place where the goods are sold to the ultimate consumer, retail customer, is known as store cost. So don't confuse the word store cost with the storage cost. Storage cost की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, वो place, वो location जिसके थ्रू you are selling the goods to the ultimate customer is known as store cost. So DPC consists of 3 costs. The first one is the centralized warehouse cost, known as warehouse cost. The second one is known as transportation cost, and the third one is known as store cost, है ना। और ये सभी चीजें, हाँ एक और चीज इंपॉर्टेंट है बेटा, ये ग्रॉस मार्जिन जो भी आपने निकाला है, इट इज ऑन पर यूनिट बेसिस। What is unit? The denomination in which you are selling your services. So this is also in per unit basis. This is also in per unit basis. And what is unit beta? Again, I am repeating. The denomination in which you are selling your product is known as unit of measurement, जिसके थ्रू आप अपना प्रोडक्ट बेचते हैं। So we are computing the gross margin on per unit basis. We are computing the DPC on per unit basis. When both this data having the same denomination, then only we can deduct the step number 1 minus step number 2. This is very important beta, because the practical question we are going to start will require this concept, that if the denomination of step number 1 and step number 2 are not same, they are not deductible. To make the data comparable, every detail, whether step number 1 or step number 2, must be on the same denomination of sale. जिस डिनोमिनेशन में आप अपना प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं, उसी डिनोमिनेशन में हमें ये चीज मेंशन करना है। ओके बेटा, एनी डाउट? कोई भी डाउट हो तो आप पूछिए बेटा मुझसे। Any doubt beta in this particular point? Please communicate to me so that I can clarify that doubt to you. ओके बेटा, चलिए तो हम एक प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन स्टार्ट करते हैं। इट इज द प्रैक्टिकल क्वेश्चन दैट इज अपियरिंग इवन फ्रॉम द ओल्ड सिलेबस। ओल्ड सिलेबस में भी ये टॉपिक था बिफोर 2018, अपन बल्कि और भी न्यू सिलेबस आ रहा है, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली इन अ मंथ और 2 एक्सपेक्टेड। सो जो 2018 के पहले सिलेबस था, द नेम ऑफ द सिलेबस इज AMA एडवांस मैनेजमेंट अकाउंटिंग। इवन इन that particular question is there. Even in the new syllabus of 2018 till now, this question is there. So it's a super question beta. If this question appears in the examination, it will carry a minimum of 16 marks, minimum, undoubtedly, because the interpretation level is super. You have to make the data comparable. You have to calculate the gross margin on per unit basis. Also, you have to calculate the direct product cost on per unit basis. Then only the data are comparable. Okay, sure. तो स्टार्ट करते हैं बेटा वो क्वेश्चन, अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम स्टडी मटेरियल। Okay, so it's illustration number 2 available in page number 10. Illustration number 2 available in page number 10. I'm giving you bit of 3 to 5 minutes of time just to read out this question. Okay, you don't have to make any calculation, any sort of calculation. Just devote your time, the time of 3 to 5 minutes for reading this particular question, illustration number 2. Okay, Shali. स्पेशल पॉइंट था। लेट्स स्टार्ट। देखिए क्वेश्चन नंबर 2, जिज्ञासा इंडिया लिमिटेड हैज 30 रिटेल स्टोर ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म साइज। Okay, so the name of the retail chain is Jigyasa India Limited. They are having 30 retail store under the brand name Fruity and Sweetie Retails across the country. Mainly 3 products: butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icy cool are sold through this retail store. To make the question simple, beta, they are giving you just the 3 products. But definitely, if this is the retail factor question, there are thousands of products they are dealing on a daily basis. But since this is a question given frame, so they are giving just 3 products. Okay. So butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icy cool. Company maintains stock for all the retail store in a centralized warehouse. The basic concept of all the retail store is same, that the purchasing will be centralized and all the purchasing will be done and stored in a centralized warehouse. Goods are released from the warehouse to the retail store as per the requisition raised by the stores. है ना, जितने भी इनके रिटेल स्टोर है, whenever they require any kind of goods, they require the centralized warehouse. Goods are then transported to the store through 2 types of van, normal and refrigerated. And this van are to be hired by the company, that is by the JIL. So the name of the company is JIL. They're having 30 retail store under the brand name Fruity and Sweetie Retail. They are having 3 products: butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icy cool. Whenever any 30 retail store require goods, they request to the centralized warehouse. Centralized warehouse dispatch goods from the warehouse to the store through van, and there are 2 types of van: normal van, that is the product which do not require any refrigeration, and refrigerated van, which the product which require the refrigerating services. Okay, cost per month of JIL are as follows. So per month cost has been given to you. Now, can you please tell me, beta, out of this 3 costs, 2,07,000, 1,77,000, and 1,89,000, which costs are relevant to us while computing the DPP, or all the costs are relevant? So the first option is some of the costs are irrelevant. Then you have to identify which of the costs are irrelevant while computing the DPC. DPP, sorry. And in case your answer is no for all the 3 costs, 2,07,000, 1,77,000, and 1,89,000 are relevant, then no logic is required, beta. Please tell me whether any of the costs is irrelevant while calculating the DPP. All are relevant. Okay, beta. Seema Suresh has said all are relevant. Shivani has said one cost is not relevant. Other cost is not mentioned. No, beta. What about the view of Geeta Patel, Jaya Chandran, Kani Moji, Rashmi Kamath, Garg Saab? Jaldi se answer dijiye, beta. Whether all the 3 costs are to be taken into account while computing the DPP, or some of the cost is irrelevant. Okay, Jaya Chandran has said 1,77,000 is not relevant. Okay. Kani Moji has said HO cost is not relevant. Very good, beta. And definitely this cost is not relevant because this cost is related to head office cost. Please recall those 3 steps, beta. What are the 3 steps? The first step is computation of gross margin. In computation of gross margin, we require the sale price, we require the purchase cost. Nothing is given in this statement regarding the sale price and the purchase cost. Forget about step number 1. In step number 2, we require 3 costs. Warehouse cost, it is given here. This is warehouse cost. We require second, transportation cost, not given in this statement. And the third, we require retail store cost. Nowhere in the calculation of DPP, we require the head office cost. Okay, so this 1,77,000 is not at all relevant. This 1,77,000 is not at all relevant while calculating the direct product profitability. Clear hai? Chal. Now, the third cost, we require warehouse cost, we require store cost, not the storage cost, store cost. And the third is transportation cost. Now, transportation cost is given to you. Transportation cost is given on per trip basis. And this cost of 2,07,000 and 1,89,000 are given on per month basis. ध्यान रखिएगा बेटा. If पूरे question में the denomination is very important. Some costs are given to you on per month basis. Some costs are given to you on per trip basis. Okay. The chief financial manager asked his finance manager to calculate profitability based on 3 products sold through their retail store rather than traditional method of calculating profitability. Okay. अब ये डिटेल भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. The following information regarding retail store are gathered. Number of cartons per cubic meter. What is cubic meter? Length, width, and height. If we consider the height also, apart from the length, apart from the width, we consider the height also, that is known as cubic meter. So, a cubic meter में we can store 42 carton of the first product, 28 carton of the second product, and 40 carton of the third product. Number of items per carton. Can you please tell me, beta, based on this 2 information, what new detail we can find out? I don't want the answer in numerical term. I want the answer in language term. Based on point number 1, this is point number 1, and this is point number 2. What new information you can provide to me? I don't require the numerical one, beta. I just require the interpretation on language terms. Please communicate to me. Okay, very good, beta. Shrivani, Seema, Suresh. Yes, we can easily find out number of units that can be stored in 1 cubic meter. In the first point, we have been given number of cartons that can be stored in a cubic meter. In the second point, we have been given how many number of items is there in a particular carton. Okay, so by multiplying these 2 data, we can easily find out number of units per cubic meter. This is a very important calculation that is required later on. Okay, time in warehouse and time in retail store. Can you please interpret this particular point to me, beta? Can you please interpret what is 1.5? Time in warehouse in month 1.5. What's the interpretation of 1.5? Please communicate to me. No beta, that is given time stored in warehouse 1.5 months. Any other thing beta? Any clear interpretation of 1.5 months? Shivani and Seema Suresh beta, that is given in the question warehouse time. I need interpretation of minimum one line. Yes, Kani Moji beta, I can accept your answer. That is a detailed interpretation of that point. Very good. So when we purchase that particular product from the supplier, the date on which that particular product has been purchased from the supplier and the date on which it has been dispatched to the retail store, the time period between these two is 1.5 months. It means the date of purchase from the manufacturer and the date of dispatch to the retail store is 1.5 months. For 1.5 months, on an average, we have to hold this particular inventory. And what do you mean by this 2 months? It means whenever the goods are received from the centralized warehouse and the sale of it to the retail customer, the time difference is 2 months. In other words, combining this together 1.5 and 2, it means time of purchase and time of sale, there is a time gap of almost 3.5 months. Clear है बेटा ये point आपको? बढ़े आगे चलिए. Selling price per unit, purchase price per unit. Can you please tell me beta, what step can we find out by this two information? Step number 1 or step number 2 or step number 3, and tell me the denomination of that one. Selling price and purchase price per unit. Tell me the denomination of that one. Okay, it is step number 1 beta, and it will be find out on the basis of per unit because the sale price is expressed on per unit basis. So not only step number 1 should be on per unit basis, step number 2 should also be on per unit basis. When step number 1 and step number 2 are on per unit basis, then only we can find out this step number 3, and the ultimate answer is step number 3, DPP per unit. So regarding the calculation of gross margin, this question is very simple. Just simply deduct the sale price minus purchase cost, and both are comparable because the denomination given is per unit. Okay. Now the second step is very, very important. That is the direct product cost on per unit basis. Okay. So please understand very, very carefully, beta. This is very important. Step number 1 can be easily find out. Now step number 2, DPC is the total of 3 costs: warehouse cost plus transport cost plus store cost. Okay. And most importantly, direct product cost per unit. Direct product cost is also to be calculated on per unit basis, because if step number 1 is on per unit basis, and basically the sale is not made in per cubic meter. Can you please tell me, beta, when we are able to compute the direct product profitability on per carton basis, हम कब DPP per carton निकालते? Now we are calculating it on per unit basis. How will a student know that whether it is to be calculated on per unit basis, per carton basis, or per cubic meter basis? Can you please tell me, beta, why we are not calculating the DPP on per carton basis or per cubic meter basis? Please provide me the logic why we are not calculating the DPP, that is step number 3rd, on per carton basis or per cubic meter basis. No, beta Shrivani, that's not the correct answer. Please reconsider your answer, beta. Why we are not calculating step number 3rd on per carton basis or per cubic meter basis? How a student will be able to identify this point? No, beta Fima Furage, that's not the answer. In some other question, the DPP can be find out even on per carton basis, beta. It's 100% logical, but not in this particular question. No, beta Shrivani, that's not the answer. No, Jayachandran, beta, that's not the answer. No, Geeta Patel, that's not the answer, beta. No, Kanimoji, that's not the answer, beta. You have to be very specific while giving the logic, beta, because the important part from my side is not to solve a particular question. I have to provide you the logic why we are not calculating. How a student will be able to know that the question will be solved on per unit basis, because some other question can be solved on per carton basis or per dozen basis. Okay, there is no specific rule. The only logic and the most important alone logic is the denomination of sale is the denomination of DPP. जिस डिनोमिनेशन में आप अपना प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं, उसी डिनोमिनेशन में you have to compute the DPP per denomination. If you are selling in denomination of carton, that is sale price per carton, you sell only in multiple of cartons, then definitely DPP should be calculated on per carton basis. If you sell your product on per dozen basis, sale price per dozen, then definitely we will calculate the DPP on per dozen basis. So the logic is, जिस डिनोमिनेशन में आप अपना प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हो, उसी डिनोमिनेशन में आपको पूरा कैलकुलेशन करना. Okay, so clear beta point. If you want to write, you can write down in your own words. I am waiting for 30 to 45 seconds. Why we have calculated the DPP on per unit basis? The logic is, जिस डिनोमिनेशन में हम अपना प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं, उसी डिनोमिनेशन में हमें अपना DPP निकालना है. If the denomination is per carton, then definitely we will calculate on per carton basis. Seema Suresh, definitely the product can be sold on per carton basis, beta. If the retailer segment is dealing with only in bulk quantity, such as best price, okay, they have specified a lot that the minimum 5 unit lot is to be taken, and in multiple of that only will be allowed. Especially in the wholesale market, beta, when you see the trading sector in the wholesale market, they deal on a specific term, per quintal or per ton only in denomination of that. You can't be able to buy 72 kg or 73 kg. Either you have to take a quintal or the another quintal. For retail segment, beta, it can also be a wholesale segment, Seema Suresh, beta. No doubt about that. Okay, बेटा, have you written the logic? जिस डिनोमिनेशन में हम अपना प्रोडक्ट बेच रहे हैं, उसी डिनोमिनेशन में हमें पूरा कैलकुलेशन करना. Okay, now I am giving you time, बेटा. Please provide me only one cost, that is warehouse cost on per unit basis for फर्स्ट प्रोडक्ट, जो भी आपका फर्स्ट प्रोडक्ट है बटर जेली, सिर्फ आप उसके लिए मुझे कैलकुलेट करके बताइए. इफ यू आर एबल टू करेक्टली कंप्यूट द वेयर ऑफ कॉस्ट on per unit basis for the first product, you can easily apply the same for second and third product. And if you are able to calculate the warehouse cost on per unit basis correctly, it's very simple for you to calculate the transport cost and the store cost. So to save the time, I am giving only the time to calculate the warehouse cost on per unit basis only for the first product. ठीक है, चलिए बेटा, समय आपके पास. पूरे में आपको 3 to 4 मिनट देना चाहता हूं, because this calculation requires a lot of effort from your end. Okay, and I'm quite confident that whatever you are attempting, that will be the most accurate one. And whenever we start that one, definitely that self understanding of your will help you a lot to understand how to calculate the variable warehouse cost on per unit basis for this particular question. Okay, चलिए, समय आपके पास बेटा 3 to 4 minutes का. Last 2 minutes are available with you, beta. Try to provide me the answer. Okay. The calculation are super, beta. Please take your time. No hurry, because if you can provide the time on this particular topic, then rest of the calculation explained by me will be very simple to you. Okay. For another 2 minutes are available with you. Take your time and try to convert the denomination on per unit basis. Jaya Chandran and Seema Suresh, beta, that's not the correct answer. Please reconsider your answer. No, beta, Seema Suresh, I don't think, beta, you have to attend that particular chapter if you have already done that one. Last 1 minute available, beta, to you. Then we will start the discussion. Okay. Last 1 minute is available with you. चलिए बेटा, तो स्टार्ट करो. देखिए, व्हाट्स द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. सबसे पहले तो आपको इसमें काम करना पड़ेगा. You have to bifurcate the cost into refrigerated and non-refrigerated product. You are having three products: butter jelly, fruit and nut, and icy cool. And here it is mentioned that butter jelly and icy cool are required to be kept under refrigerated condition. It means this fruit and nut are not required to be kept under refrigerated condition. For our communication purpose, I am calling this product number 1, product number 2, and product number 3. So product number 1 and 3 require refrigeration, while product number 2 doesn't require refrigeration. So this is the non-refrigerated cost 27,000 and this is 28,000. So out of this 2,07,000, 55,000 is related to non-refrigerated and 1,52,000 is related with refrigeration cost. Okay, now my question to you is, beta, whether this 55,000 is incurred only for product 1, only for product 2, or this 55,000 is incurred for product 1, product. Please communicate to me, beta. This 55,000 related to non-refrigeration cost, which consists of labor and staff cost and material handling cost, are incurred only and only for product 2, or it is incurred for all the three products 1, 2, and 3. Please communicate to me fast. Very good, beta. Kani emoji. It is incurred for all the product. Non-refrigerated cost, that is related to labor and material handling cost, are incurred for the refrigerated product, but also for the non-refrigerated product. So this is the cost incurred for all the product, while this 1,52,000 cost is incurred exclusively for product number 1 and product number 3. And in the last detail, we have been given that the total cubic meter is 40,000 cubic meter per month, while refrigerated goods is 25,000 cubic meter per month. So this is the cost that is related with 40,000 cubic meter per month, while this is the cost that is related with only 25,000 cubic meter per month. तो अब जरा ध्यान से समझिएगा बेटा, बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट कैलकुलेशन है. Then I will provide you one more chance to provide me the answer related to the store cost. तो देखिए, सबसे पहले मैं जो वेयरहाउस कॉस्ट है उसको मैं बाइफरकेट करूंगा इन नॉन रेफ्रिजरेटेड कॉस्ट and refrigerated cost. The total cost per month is 55,000, 27,000 plus 28,000, and the refrigerated cost is 1,52,000. Okay, divided by volume per month in cubic meter. So the volume is 40,000 and the volume is 25,000. So this is very very important बेटा ना, ये बहुत ध्यान समझिएगा. तो जो भी आंसर आएगा, that is cost per cubic meter per month. It is not cost per cubic meter, it is cost per cubic meter per month. तो कैलकुलेशन आप मुझे बताइए बेटा, 55,000 डिवाइडेड बाय 40,000 अगर मैं करता हूं तो ये Okay, beta, sorry for the disturbance. So I'm repeating the last point. My cost per month is 55,000 and my cost per month here is 1,52,000. And I have been given the volume per month in cubic meter 40,000 and 25,000. So the answer I'm getting 1.375 and 6.08. If the interpretation is very important, it is cost per cubic meter per month. Cost per cubic meter per month. Can you please tell me if I have to convert this cost into per cubic meter, what detail will be helpful to convert the cost per cubic meter per month into cost per cubic meter? Can you please tell me, beta? If I have to convert this cost per cubic meter per month for the very first product, how I can convert this into cost per cubic meter? How I can convert the cost per cubic meter expressed on per month basis into cost per cubic meter. I'm talking about the very first product only, you know. Very good, beta Shrivani. It is to be multiplied by number of months. The interpretation of this point is if any product is stored for a month in a cubic meter, the cost will be 1.375. So if the product is stored for 2 months, so then 1.375 will be multiplied by 2 months. So in case of product number 1, you can check for how many months the product is stored in the warehouse. For how many months the product is stored in the warehouse? Coincidentally, beta, it's 1 month. Okay, so it's just a coincidence that the cost per cubic meter per month and the cost per cubic meter are same because the product is stored in the warehouse for 1 month. If we are calculating for product number 2, then 1.375 will be multiplied by 1.5. If we are calculating for IC cool, it will be multiplied by 0.5. Okay, so it's better, beta. We should calculate it for 1.5. That will be much better for you. Okay, so we are calculating for fruit and nut. So this calculation will be multiplied by 1.5 to get the answer in per cubic meter. So we are calculating for second product. Okay, so that will give you proper analysis. Second product, तो मल्टीप्लाई करके बताइए बेटा. 1.375 multiply by 1.5 month, so it is 2.0625 और यहां पे मैं not applicable लिखूंगा. Why? Because the second product doesn't require refrigeration. The first product and the third product require refrigeration. So for first and third product, both the cost will be added to find out the cost per cubic meter. But for second product, only the first cost, that is the non-refrigerated. अब आप मुझे बताइए बेटा, अगर if मुझे 2.0625 को if I convert into ultimate target, that is cost per unit, then how this detail expressed on per cubic meter can be converted into cost per unit? Please communicate to me, beta. Please communicate to me, beta, how the cost per cubic meter will be converted into cost per unit. After that, beta, we will take a break, and then after the break, we will again sum up this point. Don't worry about that, because I know the level of this question is very good. It requires certain amount of time. How this cost per cubic meter, and you have already done that calculation, beta. While reading the question, I have already interpreted that point. Just you have to link this point right now. How the cost per cubic meter will be converted into cost per unit. No, beta, it will not be Rashmi. It will not be multiplied by items in carton. No, beta. Yes, beta Shrivani, right answer है. It will be divided by, listen very carefully, beta, this is very important. If it is divided by units per cubic meter, a cubic meter में how many units are there, we will be able to get the cost per unit. ठीक है बेटा, चलिए ब्रेक लेते हैं बेटा. ब्रेक के बाद अगेन वी विल प्रोवाइड 15 minutes to this question to complete all the part, refrigerated, non-refrigerated, transport cost, and then finally we will move to the last topic, that is the calculation ratio of value added and the non-value added cost. Okay beta, take a break of 15 minutes. It's 19:47, so we will meet sharp at 8:02. ठीक है बेटा, 8:02 में वी विल start this particular restart this question, and in the last half an hour we will study the value added and the non value added ratios. Okay, चलिए ब्रेक लीजिए बेटा. Okay, beta. So let's continue this question on DPP. There is some issue, beta, in the camera. So we are rectifying the meanwhile. So let's cooperate with that, beta. We are continuing the lecture without the camera right now for few minutes. Okay, चलिए. So देखिए, इसका जब हम सॉल्यूशन पार्ट करेंगे तो क्या कैलकुलेशन रहेगा बेटा, बहुत बहुत ध्यान से समझिएगा. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. अब थोड़ा सा अपन स्पीड अप करेंगे so that we can cover the majority of the concept of the remaining topic. Okay, so थोड़ा सा मेरी स्पीड यहाँ पे बढ़ जाएगी. So this is first product, this is second product, and this is third product. So the first cost we are taking is the warehouse cost. Warehouse cost में हमारे पास यहाँ पे दो कॉस्ट है. The first one is non-refrigerated and the second one is refrigerated. सबसे पहला पॉइंट बेटा, रेफ्रिजरेटेड कॉस्ट कहां पे नहीं आएगी, वेयर द रेफ्रिजरेशन कॉस्ट विल नॉट बी देयर इन केस ऑफ सेकंड प्रोडक्ट, बिकॉज सेकंड प्रोडक्ट डू नॉट रिक्वायर एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ रेफ्रिजरेशन, है ना. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बेटा, वी आर कैलकुलेटिंग कॉस्ट पर क्यूबिक मीटर पर मंथ. कॉस्ट पर क्यूबिक मीटर पर मंथ, है ना. So non-refrigerated total cost related to the first product is 1.375. We have already computed that one, beta. 1.375 multiply by 1. So it will be, सबसे पहले इसका कैलकुलेशन आप शो कर दीजिए बेटा, कैसे आया है कैलकुलेशन. So it will be 55,000 divided by 40,000 into number of months in warehouse. Number of months in warehouse. While in this case, it's 1,52,000 divided by 25,000 multiplied by number of months. So it will be 1.375. Okay. For the second product, it will be 1.375. Just a minute, beta. I will calculate the same. It will be 1.375 into 1.5, because here 2 months, 1.5 months are required in the store, and in the third product it's just 0.5 month. 0.5 into 1.375, it's 0.0685, है ना. Regarding the refrigeration cost, we have already computed, it's 6.08. So here it will be 6.08. Now please tell me the answer of third product. What will be the refrigeration cost of warehouse in the third product? बताइए बेटा, यहाँ पे कुछ एक स्पेशल पॉइंट है जो माइट बी आपसे गलत हो सकता है. That's why I am asking you this point. Tell me the answer of refrigerated cost of warehouse for the third product. थर्ड प्रोडक्ट के लिए मुझे जल्दी से आप रेफ्रिजरेटेड कॉस्ट बताइए बेटा, व्हाट इज द अमाउंट. एंड यहां कॉमनली गलती होती है बेटा, वो मैं आपको बता देता हूं. हियर 6.08 मल्टीप्लाई बाय, मेनी स्टूडेंट मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 1 month while it is 0.5 month. आप अभी भी कॉस्ट किसके लिए निकाल रहे हो, वेयरहाउस के लिए निकाल रहे हो. यू आर नॉट कैलकुलेटिंग द कॉस्ट for the retail store, so it will be multiplied by 0.5. okay, so ये आएगा आपका 3.044. okay बेटा, हो गया. फिर अब थोड़ा स्पीड अप पकड़ रहा हूं मैं. the next point is related with transport cost. regarding the non refrigerated van, पर मंथ ही बेटा, डायरेक्टली अपन पर क्यूबिक मीटर ही निकाल रहे हैं, तो पर मंथ वाला वर्ड मैं यहां से हटा रहा हूं. एंड रिगार्डिंग द रेफ्रिजरेटेड व्हेन, ओके, नॉन रेफ्रिजरेशन का खर्चा कहां पे नहीं आएगा, इन दो जगह पे नहीं आएगा. वाइल रेफ्रिजरेशन का खर्चा यहां पे नहीं आना है. एंड प्लीज चेक बेटा, व्हाट इज द रेफ्रिजरेशन कॉस्ट. द रेफ्रिजरेशन कॉस्ट गिवन टू यू इज 3200, 4900 on per trip basis. And in a trip, how many cubic meter we can carry? It is given somewhere in the question beta. Yes, 64 cubic meter we can carry. For the normal van, it's 3,200 rupee, and for the refrigerated van, it's 4,900 rupee. तो कैसे कैलकुलेशन आएगा देखिए बेटा, 3,200 divided by 64 and 4,900 divided by 64 will provide you the answer on per cubic meter basis. So 3,200 divided by 64, it will be 50 rupee per cubic meter. 50 rupee per cubic meter. Okay. And for refrigerated, it will be 4,900 divided by 64. It will be 76.5625. 76.5625. We are calculating all the answer on per cubic meter basis. And now last point beta, store cost. चलिए, now it's your turn बेटा. जल्दी से मुझे नॉन रेफ्रिजरेटेड का अमाउंट बताइए तीनों प्रोडक्ट का, और रेफ्रिजरेटेड का अमाउंट बताइए तीनों प्रोडक्ट का. बहुत स्पीड में बेटा. वी वांट टू डिवोट वेरी मच लेस टाइम now to this particular question so that proper time can be devoted to the last concept. यहां पे नॉट अप्लीकेबल होगा रेफ्रिजरेशन का. बाकी जल्दी से मुझे अब ये पांचों डिटेल बताइए कितना कितना अमाउंट आएगा रिगार्डिंग द लास्ट डीपीसी कॉस्ट, दैट इज द स्टोर कॉस्ट. Please provide me the store cost beta as early as possible. I'm waiting for your answers beta. Please communicate fast. Okay beta, it's 6.36, 4 rupee and again 6.36. क्या आंसर सभी स्टूडेंट्स का टैली हो रहा है बेटा, ये वाला आंसर? यहां से चेक कर लेते हैं बेटा रिगार्डिंग दिस आंसर. अच्छा, यस इट इज 6.36, 4 रुपी एंड 6.36. ये चेक कर लीजिए बेटा, क्या ये आंसर सभी स्टूडेंट का टैली हो रहा है, सो दैट वी कैन मूव टू द अदर टॉपिक. Please communicate far better whether I can assume that each and every student has got the correct answer now. Okay, chaliye beta. For now, we will move to the last concept of this chapter, that is the value added and the non-value added cost. Please give the heading in your copy, beta. Value added and the non-value added cost. Already asked in the examination, I think for 20 marks question, it's a combination of return on investment ROI, RI, and the value added and the non-value added cost. And if you want to write, the question has been asked beta in November 2019 related to this concept of value added and non-value added cost. Can you please recall that concept of chapter number 3rd, lean system and innovation? We have learned the concept of waste, and waste is nothing but the non-value added activity. Waste is nothing but the non-value added activity. Can you please able to recall that mnemonics of waste? जो हमने एक mnemonics बनाया था बेटा for 7 type of waste. Can you please recall that one? And please communicate to me with that point, particular point, which we have studied in chapter number 3rd, although it will be a very difficult task because you have to go back previously for 2 months learning. Oh, wow. Seema Suresh, Geeta Patel. Very good, beta. You have provided me the correct answer. It's Tim Wood. Very, very good, beta. Very good. The correct point, Tim Wood is there. Other student will be, you will be able to recall that same, beta. Tim Wood. Can you please recall the full form of Tim Wood, beta? It is T stands for transportation. Just a minute. I will write that down. Tim Wood. The mnemonic we have studied is Tim Wood, TIMWOOD. Okay. So this is T stands for transportation. I stand for inventory. M stands for motion. W stands for waiting. O stands for overproduction. O stands for over processing. And D stands for defect. The same concept will apply in this particular point also, because whenever there is any question related to waste or the non-value added activity, always it will carry the word Tim Wood: transport, investment, motion, waiting, overproduction, overprocessing, and the defect. And the same concept has been very well explained in this particular chapter also, that what are the type of waste along with their specific meaning and how to calculate the ratios related to value added and the non-value added cost. Okay, have you given the heading, beta? Value added and non-value added ratios. Very good, beta. Seema Suresh, Rashmi, Geeta Patel. Wow, beta. I am not expecting this point from the student because we have studied much back. Okay, it's almost 2 months we have studied that chapter, and still you will be able to recall, beta. Very good. Proud of you all. So please write down, beta, the heading: value added and the non-value added cost. Value added and the non-value added cost. The 7 type of waste, please write down. The 7 type of waste is denoted by, the 7 type of waste is denoted by Tim Wood. Although you know it, beta, but I am again requesting you to write down the meaning of each and every abbreviation. T stand for transportation, I for inventory. Once again, please write down the same. Okay, beta, have you written the same? Now, please listen very carefully, beta. Now, those 7 type of waves have been explained more in detail in this particular point. Now, the first type of wave is known as storing. What do you mean by this? Please read out the same. Any activity that uses time and resources when a good means finished goods or material is held in inventory. We have already seen this through inventory. Having more inventory than what is minimally required at any given point of time is a kind of waste. So यहाँ पे उसे storing बोला गया. Whether you are storing the finished goods or whether you are storing the raw material, any inventory that is stored more than the minimally required at any point of time is there. We are not saying that there should be no inventory at all. Without the inventory stock, we cannot perform the manufacturing function or the sale function. But having inventory more than what is minimally required at any given point of time is prohibited. So all type of storing of raw material or finished goods will be considered as non-value added cost. Then moving the raw material or the WIP or the finished goods from one department to another doesn't add any value to that particular product. And if doesn't add value to the particular product, the customer will not be able to provide you any amount related to that particular activity. So therefore, all kinds of transportation for moving the raw material, WIP or the finished goods from one department to another will not add any value. So moving is also a non-value added activity. Now waiting. If a particular department is waiting for its input from the previous department, then the resources wasted during the waiting period is known as waiting. And although you are incurring cost or due to waiting, but it will not add any value to the product. Therefore, it will be a non-value added cost. Inspecting is also non-value added cost because if you are using the proper system, then there should be the concept first good unit input, definitely the output will be good. There should not be a concept garbage in, garbage out. Okay. If the supplier is providing the right quality of raw material, if you are maintaining your machine through TPM, definitely the system are in place to produce the finished goods unit as per the standard specification. So any kind of inspecting, whether for raw material or for WIP or for finished goods, is only for the organization to confirm whether the raw material, WIP or finished goods are conforming to the standard or not. Okay, beta? And scheduling, that is means setup. So all of this activity doesn't add value to the customer. Okay, beta? चलिए अब यहाँ पे एक बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट आपको एक डायग्राम दिया हुआ है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट डायग्राम है बेटा. आई एम गिविंग यू सम टाइम टू रीड आउट दिस डायग्राम अलॉन्ग विथ वर्ड. क्या क्या वर्ड है चलिए देखिए. सबसे पहला वर्ड मैं चाहूंगा आप इसको पढ़िएगा. व्हाट इज रिसिप्ट टाइम, व्हाट इज वेटिंग टाइम, व्हाट इज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टाइम, then this point delivery time and point number 6, and all the definition are given in this particular page number 21 and the initial content of page number 22. Okay, I'm giving you sufficient time to you better to read out this particular page, the most important page regarding the value added and the non-value added ratios. Each and everything is clearly explained. Just you have to interpret the same and this diagram is superb, है ना? Heads to the board of studies director beta, who have fed this study material the level. Everything is clearly explained regarding the value added and the non value added cost. So I'm giving you some time beta, 3 to 5 minutes I'm giving to you to read out the content of page number 21 and also the interpretation. Okay, then I will explain in my own language. Please interpret it very, very properly, but it's a very, very important concept of this particular chapter. And the meaning of each and every terminology is clearly given in the page number 21 and 22. Last 1 minute, beta. Please interpret the content very, very carefully. ओके बेटा, तो चलिए देखिए कहां से अपन को स्टार्ट करना है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, whenever the order is received by the company and order is delivered to the customer, there are many resources that have been spent right from customer places the order and the order has been delivered to the customer. Not all the expenses incurred at each and every stage provide value to the customer, है ना? Can you tell me, beta, based on your interpretation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which of the time, receipt time, waiting time, manufacturing cycle time, delivery time, and customer response time, which out of the 6 time are the value added time? I want to check how properly you have interpreted the language given in page number 21 and 22. Please communicate to me, beta. Which number indicates the value added cost out of this fixed number? Please communicate to me. Okay, very good, beta, Sima Suresh. Very good. You interpreted the language very properly. Proud of you. What about other student, beta? I'm expecting the same level of answer from each and every student. गीता पटेल, रश्मि कामत, यस कानी मोजी बेटा, बिल्कुल करेक्ट आंसर है. वेरी गुड. So it's point number 3rd. It is the only value added activity, while all other activities are although incurred by the organization. But think about that, beta. It doesn't add any value to the customer. और कस्टमर की वैल्यू में अगर कोई भी इंक्रीज नहीं हो रहा है तो कस्टमर विल नॉट पे फॉर सच टाइम. ओके, सो देयर इज अ डिफरेंस बेटा ना, ये ध्यान रखिएगा. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग टाइम and manufacturing cycle time में difference है. Manufacturing time means the time during which your raw material is been converted into finished goods, while the manufacturing cycle time means when the planning started by the manufacturing department and finally the product has been manufactured by the production department. तो इस बीच में हो सकता है कुछ वेटिंग टाइम भी हो. आज हमें प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट को इंटीमेट हो चुका है कि यू हैव टू मैन्युफैक्चर दिस प्रोडक्ट, but it might take some hours or some days so that the manufacturing department can start production. So there is a difference between manufacturing time and manufacturing cycle time. Manufacturing time means the actual time during which your raw material is being getting converted into the finished good, while the waiting time, जैसे lecture start at 6, but it might take 1 or 2 minutes to broadcast this live, so that is known as waiting time. Okay, at that particular point of time, although it is covered in the batch duration 6 to 9, but there is no output in the initial 3 minutes, so that will be covered under manufacturing cycle time, है ना. तो रिसिप्ट टाइम का मतलब है मार्केटिंग डिपार्टमेंट ने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिपार्टमेंट को एग्जैक्ट रिक्वायरमेंट इंटीमेट करने के लिए जो समय लिया है, दैट इज नोन एज रिसिप्ट टाइम. नाउ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बेटा, some author communicate the receipt time as waiting time also. This is very important beta, है ना. कुछ authors receipt time को waiting time भी communicate करते हैं and waiting time को वो Q time बोलते हैं, QUE, है ना. So although the institute have used the word receipt time from the time difference between placing of order from the customer and the order communicated to the manufacturing department, but some author consider this receipt time in the name of waiting time and they consider waiting time in the name of Q time. तो इस टाइप के भी क्वेश्चन अवेलेबल है बेटा. whatever you are assuming, you have to write it down because the question given by the institute in the November 2019 provides a confusion in the mind of student that whether waiting time and Q time are different. Okay, so both the alternate are acceptable. When you see the suggested answer of November 2019, you will get both the answer at the ICI suggested answer level beta, and both the answer are correct depending on which author you are following. Okay, so मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल टाइम का मतलब है जब हमें ऑर्डर रिसीव हुआ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिपार्टमेंट को, कितने समय में हमने वो ऑर्डर फिनिश गुड्स में कन्वर्ट कर दिया, दैट इज नोन एज मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल टाइम. देयर इज वन वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रेशियो given here beta, manufacturing cycle efficiency. Please come to this ratio on page number 22. Okay, once again I am giving you time beta, this is very important. because I think in November 2019, this manufacturing cycle efficiency is covered for near about 2 or 3 marks. It's very simple, but the interpretation and the language has to be very much clear to each and every student. So I'm giving you time, बेटा आपको यहाँ से रीड आउट करना है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल एफिशिएंसी से, और यहाँ पे इंटरप्रिटेशन में इसको खत्म करना है, and then I will communicate this in my language. I'm giving you time so that you can interpret on your own the language. This is the basic essence of this particular paper. Okay, so 3 to 4 minutes are available to you to read out and interpret the manufacturing cycle efficiency concept. Last 1 or 2 minutes are available with you, beta. Also try to interpret. Suppose the manufacturing cycle efficiency is 20%. What does it indicate 20%? It is also nicely explained in the study material in page number 22. Okay, beta, have you interpreted? So देखिए इसका मतलब क्या है? This line is very important. What is manufacturing cycle efficiency? It is the ratio of value addition time to the total time taken to manufacture a product. अगर हम यहाँ से start करेंगे, so whatever time has been taken right from this point to the point the finished goods is completed, this particular point is known as the total time taken for manufacturing. This are out of this total time taken, if I want to know how much is the value added time and how much is the non-value added time, so I will compute the ratio manufacturing cycle efficiency. ध्यान दीजिएगा बेटा, यहां से लेकर यहां तक के टाइम की हम बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम बात कर रहे हैं सिर्फ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल एफिशिएंसी की, which will start when the order is communicated to the manufacturing department and the order has been manufactured by the manufacturing department. हम उस टाइम पीरियड में कितना वैल्यू एडेड टाइम है एंड कितना नॉन वैल्यू एडेड टाइम है, वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट दैट. तो देखिए एक फॉर्मूला दिया है बेटा आपको यहाँ पे, प्रोसेसिंग टाइम. प्रोसेसिंग टाइम मींस ऑल द टाइम in which raw material is being actually converted into the finished goods, while the manufacturing cycle time not only includes the value added time but it also includes the non value added time, है ना. तो इसका एक फॉर्मूला यहीं कहीं पे लिख दीजिए बेटा आप, और डिटेल फॉर्मूला. So manufacturing cycle efficiency is equal to manufacturing cycle efficiency is equal to value added time divided by value added plus non value added. Okay, now we are talking specifically. Value added time means the processing time in which raw material is being converted into the finished product. Processing time divided by प्रोसेसिंग टाइम तो आएगा, टोटल टाइम लेना है हमें, प्रोसेसिंग टाइम प्लस ऑल द नॉन वैल्यू एडेड टाइम. नॉन वैल्यू एडेड टाइम कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ वेटिंग, कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ स्टोरिंग, कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इंस्पेक्शन एक्सेट्रा. हर वो समय जो मेरे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डिपार्टमेंट में लगा है apart from the processing time are known as non-value added time. What I have said beta, all the time which are incurred in the manufacturing department apart from the processing time will be covered under the manufacturing cycle efficiency. So suppose this ratio is 0.4. What does it indicate? Out of the total manufacturing time, यहां पे अगर आपने ये बोल दिया बेटा out of the total time 40% is value added, this is wrong interpretation. Out of the total manufacturing time 40% is value added, it means the remaining 60% are non value added time. क्लियर है? तो देखिए बेटा एक क्वेश्चन भी आपको यहां पे दिया हुआ है इन द स्टडी मटेरियल रिगार्डिंग दिस कैलकुलेशन, है ना. एक बहुत सिंपल सा कैलकुलेशन दिया हुआ है बेटा इलस्ट्रेशन नंबर 4 में. जस्ट एक बार आप इसको रीड आउट कर लीजिए, इसका सॉल्यूशन एक बार अपने लेवल पे सोचिए, एंड आई डोंट थिंक देयर विल बी एनी प्रॉब्लम आफ्टर इंटरप्रेटिंग द पेज नंबर 21 and 22. देन वी आर सॉल्विंग क्वेश्चन नंबर 4. So I am quite confident that each and every student will provide me the correct answer regarding illustration number 4. तो समय कम है बेटा, तो जल्दी से 2-1 मिनट में आप क्वेश्चन को रीड आउट कीजिए and determine what is the value added time per batch, non value added time per batch. मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल एफिशिएंसी का फॉर्मूला लगा के मुझे बताइए व्हाट इज द मैन्युफैक्चरिंग साइकिल एफिशिएंसी. The calculation are very simple, beta. Please try to calculate over the calculator and then check with the institute answer. I don't think there should be any doubt regarding that solution part. Okay, beta, can I assume that each and every student understand the question and the solution properly? So it's a very simple concept, beta. The only confusion remains in a case of different author using the different terminology. Some author, once again, I am repeating, they are using the waiting time to express the receipt time, while the waiting time is considered by them as queue time. So for that, I strongly recommend to do a question that has been asked in the November 2019 examination. I think there are 6 to 7 requirement part of that. The initial requirement part are related with chapter number 7, performance measurement and evaluation, ROI and RI. Very easy calculation related to that one. And the remaining 3 or 4 requirement part are related with this particular topic of value added and the non-value added time. Okay, Shri beta. So let's wind up today's session. It was a great learning, especially the concept direct product profitability and to convert that per cubic meter per month into per cubic meter and then converting the per cubic meter cost into the per unit cost. Okay, chaliye beta. So please take care of yourself, special care beta. And thank you for watching the session. God bless you all. Okay, beta. We'll meet you on 29th of this month with a new chapter, budgetary control. It's 80% theoretical and 20% it's a practical topic. Okay. And from the new year, we are starting the very important topic, that is standard costing, chapter number 11, the last chapter. Okay. Shalipita, take care. Thank you.